Happy Monday, June 7th. It is 7 days. Yeah, it's not important. Welcome to today's video. Today I decided that I want to do a real estate shoot with you guys of my apartment. So with that being said, we need to do a little cleaning up before it is shoot ready. And when it comes to this, I'm talking about photography, which is going to be a little more difficult because I have one camera. So some of the stuff will be happening on my phone. I'm going to take you through my entire workflow when it comes to shooting apartments and real estate, and through the editing process as well. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a video, but bear with me. I'll show you guys everything that you need to know about real estate photography. Not that I know everything, but this is what I know so far, and if I can pass on anything, this might as well be a little something that can be useful to you guys. So without further ado, let's start cleaning up the apartment a little bit and get this little mini shoot done. Now I'm going to be focusing on my living room and office area, as well as the kitchen. Not so much in my bedroom or bathroom because I don't really have anything too special going on in there. Most of my decorating has been done in the living room and the bathroom. So that's actually the living room and the kitchen and my little office area over here. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. Good to go? Good to go. Is a good note whenever you're doing real estate photography. I'm going to turn this that way. Whenever you're doing real estate photography, is you want to use a wider angle lens. Now there's a specific lens that I recommend. I don't even have it yet, and I already recommend it because I've seen other YouTubers and reviews on the lens. It's a Samyang 14mm prime lens, and it's fantastic for real estate photography or landscaping or architectural photography because it's so crisp. One thing about prime lenses, whether you're using a 50mm, that's crooked, I'll fix it and post a little bit as I zoom in. Whether you're using a 50, a 25, a 24, a 30, a 100, you'll always find that these lenses will have really crisp photos along the edges as well. And that's something that my 10 to 18 really struggles with. And I'll throw up a couple of examples as I go through this little rant here, and you'll see the difference between using a 50mm prime lens on something and using a 10 to 18. Of course, the depth of field is going to be a lot different, but just look at the edges of a prime lens versus a zoom lens. You'll see a major difference. That's until you start using some of the higher quality L series lenses or A series Sony lenses. That's when you can get some, Siri just went off. That's when you can get some really good shots or really good photos. Now, it's not always about what equipment you have, it's about how you use it. And how you use it is very important, but even if you're using it correctly, which I typically am, I believe that's at least what I've looked up and learned and everything in the past 8 to 10 years I've been shooting photography, then it's probably an equipment issue. So keep that in mind. Now sometimes you want some good old vintage look. You'll use vintage lenses, you'll have a vintage camera, or you'll use film, or you will use film for your shots. But other times when you need a clean, crisp looking video for use on the internet where everything's going to be getting compressed as it is, you want to try and maintain some of that high quality work that was done. So let's go ahead and get into this now. Alright guys, so we're now on my phone. I'm going to show you guys exactly what my process is when I shoot real estate photography. Now, I'm going to put the broom and dustpan away. I swept yesterday, not going to sweep today. I sweep and clean every 2 days pretty heavily. But let's go ahead and show you guys. I'm going to pick this pillow up as well. This hat, these couple of hats over here. Now I don't currently have a way to mount my phone, so I'll have to be switching hands every couple minutes because my shoulder will get tired. I'm about to work out later today too, so. All right, so the first thing is, when you're shooting real estate photography, you want to turn on all of the lights. And I'm talking every single light. And you want to open all the blinds so you can get as much natural lighting in here as possible. My disposal stopped working a couple days ago. I have to put in a maintenance request for it. So all the lights should be on, all the windows should be open, or all the blinds should be open. So I'm gonna come over here and turn on these lights. I got that one on as well. I got my studio light on. I'm gonna turn this one off so you guys can see what it looks like. And then when we go in to take the shot, the way you want it to be set up, I'm actually gonna go back. Okay, so showing you guys what it looks like right now. So that's pretty dark. I'm actually gonna go in here and change the picture style because I shoot all of my vlogs in CineStyle for more color correction ability. And hold on. Okay, so you guys can see what that looks like here. I have zebra stripes all over the place while recording this. So first things first, you want to bring that shutter down as much as possible. You want to bring that exposure down as well. And I'll bring that f-stop up. So one thing I'm going to be planning on doing here, I'm actually going to turn this little bird lamp on real quick. And then the rest of the lights in the apartment. Even though I'm not shooting in my bedroom, like I said before, there's not too much going on in here. Nothing on the walls, plus it's a little on the clothes side. Just clothes everywhere. Bathroom light. Boom. Okay. Okay, so that's what it looks like currently. Now there's a saying in real estate photography, vertical, vertical, vertical. I need to find a way to set this up. And that means try to align as many verticals here as possible. So I am going to find the door and pull this over so I can get most of the room, plus a little portion of the kitchen here. I'm gonna move this light out of the way because that's obviously not supposed to be in the shot. without breaking my diffusion umbrella. Bring that f-stop back down. Now here, what I typically like to do is I like to shoot in stops. So basically, what I do is I bring the ISO down, or I bring the shutter speed pretty wide open, and then I'll find a happy medium here. Right there looks pretty good. I'll bring this back over here a little bit so I can get some of the other light. And then don't bump it. Boom. And I'll bring it up 2 stops. And then I'll bring it down 2 stops. So stay there. Boom, busy. Okay. Now, once we're in post, I'll show you what to do with that. And then working around different angles. So let's say you want to get a wide photo of the living room. You can bring it over here to a corner, and then you got to reset. So vertical, vertical, vertical. Now I'm going to bring it back a little bit so I can get more of the room. And then we're getting a whole lot of ceiling there. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to loosen this little handle. This little crank right here. And then I'll tighten it up right here. And then you can see how much better that looks here. And then vertical, vertical, vertical. There we go. So 8, F8, 1.3 seconds open. F10. And I'll do F11. We're going to do one more set here. Go back down to F6. Actually F7. Get a lot of white light in here. That's overexposed, so we'll do F8. Boom. Get F10. And then F11. Now I'm gonna grab the 10 to 18 millimeter and then pop that on, and then I'll show you guys the vignetting I was talking about before. So here's the 10 to 18. I'm gonna throw this on real quick and I'll be right back with y'all. Okay, I got the 14, actually I got the 10 to 18 on. We're set at 14 millimeter, which you can see right there. Now I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like through the viewfinder. So a lot more area that's being seen. I'm gonna bring that exposure down a little bit here. There we go. So a lot more area, that's okay. So I've got the 10 to 18 on now. I've got it set at 14 millimeters because that's what one of the best options is, or are, for shooting real estate. Now this is f5. I'm gonna go ahead and open that exposure up some more. So this is f5 at 2 seconds. This is f5 at 1.3, 1 second, 8, 6, or 0.5, half a second, 0.4, 0.3, nope. And then that's 4, 5, shutter speed, just getting faster and faster. So we're gonna go ahead and open it back up to 1.3 seconds. We're gonna bring that ISO to 7.1. Now we're gonna keep it at, make sure we can get a lot of white in here. Yeah, we'll start here. So already you can tell that there's vignetting. So it's sharp in the center where those couches are, and then along the edges where the kitchen runs in that light, it got really, really fuzzy. And I'll show you guys that in post as well. Go ahead and crank it up to 8. Actually, let's do 7.1. And then 9. Let's bring this over here so we can get a shot of the living room head on. Once again, we're gonna bring the exposure back down. We're gonna mind our verticals. We're gonna stay at 14 millimeter. I need a way to set this dang thing up. So we're gonna go to 6.3, and we're gonna back up a little bit too here because you wanna get a lot of the living room here. Boom. Let that work its magic. Go to 8. And 11, or 10. Now I want to show you guys something. I use a Canon 80D. You can see the name right here. For all of my shoots, this is the only camera that I've got. Now, the only camera that's working properly. I've also got the Canon 60D, which is what I first started on. However, right before I left for boot camp for the Marine Corps, my brother kind of broke it. So that just kind of chills out now. On occasion, I'll hook that up to my computer and I'll use it for filming stuff, but it also doesn't record record anything for very long. I think it cuts out every 14 minutes. I'm gonna show you guys something here. So you have an option for multiple exposure. So we're gonna go ahead and enable that. Number of exposures, 3, continue multi-exposure continuously. Average, number of exposures, 3, okay? And here, so you can see 3 right up there, as well as 3 right here. And we're gonna reset manual, auto. There we go. Gonna open this up to 6.3, get some focus in here. Go ahead and focus in the center, or even on the couch. There we go. And something really cool about using this is the next time you go to set up for a shot, you can track any discrepancies, as in if it's off framing. So if it is, good luck getting it back on. But it can be very useful to make sure that you're staying put in the same spot. So we're gonna go ahead and hit that again at F8. Boom. And then one more time at F11. All right, let's go ahead and start editing. Show you guys what this is all about. Now, hold on. There we go, this should work. So going into editing, I'm gonna open up these photos real quick so you guys can see what they look like. I don't know why it's doing all this weird stuff. Okay, I guess it's all right there. Couldn't escape that. Check these out. That's the 10:18. Cool. Okay. Lightroom. "16 photos here." Now this will probably yield about 10 photos. One, 2, 3. Okay. So when it comes to doing HDR photos or multi-stop photos, what I recommend is that if you have it in your camera or you have the ability to, use that method I showed you, the HDR method. So what that's going to allow you to do is be able to track if your camera moves any, and it turns into kind of like a ghostly look. So what I'm talking about is, if say this couch shifted anywhere, that's really blurry. I don't like that at all. But say if any of this furniture shifted, or like the first photo, what would show up is kind of like my camera moved here. Oh, they got some chromatic aberration. They're pretty strong. The camera moved, So that would show that that did move. Well, actually, the entire frame moved. But to show you guys what to do if you just do it with 3 separate photos. So you're going to go over here, you're going to hit Command, select these 3, merge photo, HDR merge, gathering data. And what this is going to do, it's going to combine all 3 of those exposures, all of that color data, and give you a nice clean photo with a lot more color data to work with. Now, it is saving it. And there we have the new photo. Now, this is with the 10 to 18. How can I tell? Is because you've got a lot of the room in frame. You've got a lot of data. You've got a lot of stuff you're working with here. And another reason why I can tell if it's a 10 to 18 is you have the center that's pretty well in focus. You got nothing really actually in focus. Maybe the TV, you got some mad chromatic aberration, which is this purple, sometimes green hue along the edges of things. And then you got really, really blurry and shitty images or edges. So you can see how blurry this is, and the camera didn't move any. So you can just tell that it's really, really bad quality photo here. But let's say this is a good quality photo. What would I do to edit it? Okay, so looking up here at my waveform, I've got some strong highlights. All the RGB is sitting over here, which makes sense because the window is right there. So what I would like to do is bring some more of that detail out of the outside area. So I'm going to bring the exposure down a little bit, maybe to 0.71 in the negative. Bring the whites down. So I'm going to keep those whites up there. Bring the contrast up to maybe 10. Play with the tone curve a little bit here. Not much needs to be done. I've got a really warm eye when it comes to real estate photography. So I like to warm my photos up quite a bit. I'm just not a fan of this photo at all. This is not a good photo. Recently added, let's do 4 minutes ago, because I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that picture at all. Okay, this looks like a better option here. Excuse me. HDR merge. Gathering some data, creating a preview. I'm going to put a dip in. I'm pretty sure I just had a heart palpitation. Okay, now this is a lot sharper, especially on the couch area. You can see that it's a lot sharper. You still have some chromatic aberration, a little bit of purple hue in there. The edges are still very blurry, which tells me that this is my 10 to 18, just as well as my 18 to 135 will not get all of this area in there, regardless if it's at 18, because this is shot at 14 and will not reach that. You can tell the edges are blurry on this lamp, on the light over here. Now this is just a mock-up, and this is the reason why I would like to invest $250. One of 3 images was unable to merge. Okay, why was it unable to merge? Oops. Okay. So something I did notice outside in these photos is the tree is blowing quite hard. So I'm just going to try and blow that tree up a little bit, or the highlights. Let's go ahead and merge this photo. That's a good looking photo. Now this was shot on my 18 to 135 millimeter lens. I minded the verticals pretty well. Got some chromatic aberration in the corner, on the corner of the wall right here. Overall, this photo looks pretty damn good. I'm gonna go ahead and merge this. And that is how that came out. So it looks pretty good. I like this quite a bit. I'm gonna showing original, and that's got some warm colors in there. The exposure's down on the outside. The tree is not too bad. I was worried about that being really blurred, which it is in some parts, like right here in the edge, or that's just a reflection of something. Which another thing to remember or to be aware of is if you have strong wood floor reflections or windows, get a polarizing filter. They will cut that out immediately. It's such a useful thing. I don't have one personally because they run a couple $100, but if you have the money to invest in a polarizing filter, 100% do it. I'm going to brighten this photo up just a little bit. I'm going to bring the exposure back up and the highlights here. I'm going to come down here to remove chromatic aberration, and I'm going to select the purple, and you can see it's already gone. It's been reduced to significantly almost nothing. I'm going to go ahead and untick that once again here. I'm going to zoom in on this little piece right here so you can see what it does. Chromatic aberration almost completely gone. So I'm going to drag this over here, and actually I'm going to bring it back to 70. I'm going to drag it up, and there we go. So chromatic aberration's gone now. Take a look around here. The clarity could probably be bumped up a little bit. I don't have any issue with noise on the black surfaces unless I zoom really far in, which that's to be expected. It's a darker surface. So to fix that, when noise is introduced to a photo, when you have dark things being lit up really, or being artificially exposed with ISO. So one thing I like to do to help counteract that is to bring those shadows back down a little bit. And even if it does darken the furniture or darken the area quite a bit, you won't have as much noise. Another thing, if you really want to keep it, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z here. Oh, no, I want to keep that defringing done. Let's go ahead and cut that back out to 8. And then another thing you can do for noise reduction, so back here, is use noise reduction. And the higher you go, I think the more plasticky it looks. You lose detail. But this versus this, and even if you don't want to use noise reduction, you can't really tell that there's noise in this photo when it's that far back. When nobody's looking for detail back in the cabinets from this angle. Now I do have some stuff here on the floor which I'm going to clean up real quick. As I said, I did not sweep. So we're going to go ahead and increase the size of the brush here. Hit that. And click that. Hit the heel brush actually. Boom. Got some Zeus hair right here. Gonna warm it up just a tad. Do a little S curve. I'm a big fan of S curves because they bring so much vibrance into a photo. And I like that photo a lot. That looks really good. It'd be a lot cleaner if I did clear off the counter, but it's where I'm working right now. I'm not too worried about it. Maybe 2 photos is all I get out of it, actually. Now I do want to edit a couple photos just to show what it looks like when you don't have an HDR foot image. Drop those highlights, bring the exposure a bit down, increase the shadows just a touch. Whites can stay about there. Relax, S curve. Boom. Now as you go through and play with these, you want to remember to go back and mess with the sliders if you touch the S curve so you can get your settings right where you want it. Go ahead and export that. Now I do want to try and use a preset here and see which one would work well with this. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Nope, nope. Fade. To bring that exposure way down. Highlights can come down. I like that, it's kind of moody. I really like that actually. Saturation can come up a little bit here to -10. Vibrance can stay, let's do -4. Let's do one more preset here. That's real moody. I like how the green on those plants is dark right there. That looks good. Go to that yellow and bring that back in here, that picture a little bit. Well, that's going to be it for today's little video. I hope you guys enjoyed that little process. And I'm going to be doing some more of these coming up this week. Every day I'll be putting up a new video. Looking forward to it. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it to the end of this, go ahead and drop a subscribe. Hit that button. Smash it if you'd like to. Hit a like. I love a like if you guys appreciate. I would appreciate that. And lets me know that you guys like the content I'm putting out and giving you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya. Ooh, I got my dongle there. Don't break my screen.